I just start going introduce.
Yeah, if you want.
All right, good morning, everyone. It's 9:15 a.m., so we're going to be getting started here today. Today, the session is titled Value-Added Seafood Products HPP Opportunities. Today, joining us, we have Daniela Soto. She's the HPP food scientist at Hyperbaric, manufacturer of HPP equipment, as well as a guest speaker. We have Christina Ferranti Cliff. She's the marketing guru and product development at East Coast Seafood Group, based out of New Bedford, Massachusetts. Danielle, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anthony, for the introduction. And again, thank you everyone for joining us today. So as Anthony mentioned, I'm Daniela Soto. I'm an HPP food applications specialist from Hyperbaric. So I'm part of the applications team. We're a team of specialized people with a lot of scientific backgrounds, and we can help answering technical inquiries, help you understand how the technology works. You can contact us at the apps@hyperbaric.com email that you can see on screen. As I mentioned before, we provide technical support for anyone interested in HPP technology, mainly also our customers into developing different products with the technology, as well as understanding the different packaging types that are compatible with HPP. Also, we can provide guidance on finding the best HPP processing parameters for the products you want to process, as well as guide you on food safety regulations, and with this on understanding and guidance on validation and shelf life studies. Also, I want to mention that we lead what we call the pilot plants or HPP incubators, which are these spaces where we have one of our high pressure processing equipments, and we provide free testing at no cost for anyone who want to try their products with HPP or understand how the technology will affect their products. We are open to help you on this. We have 3 pilot plants or incubators, one in Miami, Florida, where we come from, another one at our headquarters in Burgos, Spain, and finally another one which we recently opened in Shanghai, China. And now let's talk about what is HPP technology. HPP stands for high pressure processing. So this technology is considered as a non-thermal technology. So we're not using high temperatures to provide the different benefits that the technology can give to you. We are using high pressure by using water as a pressurizing medium used at low temperatures. So we'll be applying high pressure through water, and we'll hold it for a certain holding time. So we'll have 2 main parameters here: pressure and holding time. This pressure, by being transmitted by water as the pressurizing medium, will be applied isostatically, which means that it will be applied homogeneously throughout the product. So there won't be any pressure gradients in it. Everything will be processed the same. Also, it is a technology that it can be called or described as a cold pasteurization, because we'll be inactivating different microorganisms of interest, such as deuterative or pathogens, without using heat. So here I brought you a video to explain to you how the technology works. It can be used as a post-packaging step. So you can see all these guacamole products in cups already packaged in their final packaging, which are introduced into the blue baskets, which then are loaded into what we call the vessel. So the vessel is where the pressure will be applied. You can see now how we're introducing water in order to fill up this vessel. We'll enclose it with the plugs and wedges. And then this will be accommodated inside the machine to start pumping high pressure water into it. We'll be using what we call intensifiers, which you can think about them as turbos in a car. So the more intensifiers you have, the faster you'll increase that pressure to reach the desired one. So this is an intensifier which will help us reach that desired pressure. That pressure level would depend on the product you want to process. Once we start pumping high pressure water, we will wait until it reaches that pressure level, and we'll start holding that pressure for a certain holding time. Again, this holding time will depend on the product type you want to process. This can be optimized to. Then we'll release the pressure instantaneously, and the already processed products will come out from the machine from the other side. So as you can see, it is a technology that can be used as a post-packaging step, so it can help avoid any recontamination after HPP. So again, as I mentioned previously, the main parameters will be high pressure. Industrial equipment can reach a maximum pressure of 87,000 psi or 6,000 bars. Also, holding time, usually they are very, very low and reduced with seafood products from even 1 minute to 3 minutes. And finally, water temperature, which will be mostly for interest for shocking applications to help automate this process. And also, as you saw previously in the guacamole video, the packaging needs to be very flexible and also water resistant in order to withstand those high pressures which will be applied. So that is why most of the packaging types, they're plastic based in order to withstand the pressure and be flexible enough. There are different packaging materials that are compatible with the technology, from pouches, tubs with the film and tub, also trays, vacuum sealed, thermoformed, vacuum packs as well with different base materials and barrier types. Also, I want to mention that the use of HPP does not give any or arise any concern on the migration of plastic compounds to the product when the packaging is in contact with the food product. In contrast to some thermal processes that can increase this risk, HPP does not affect it. So there are different applications that the technology has, not only for seafood products. It is widely used in the youth and beverage industry. As you can see, it occupies most of the market in the HPP application sector, followed by the meat products used as a post-lethal or a lethal treatment. Also in the guacamole, it is widely used. Tolling, those are some customers that own one of our HPP equipments and provide the HPP service. And finally, the seafood sector, which I'm gonna cover today, which is growing pretty fast because of the different benefits it can provide. So previously you saw that I mentioned that HPP can help inactivate microorganisms. So depending on the pressure level we are using, as well as the holding time, we will inactivate different microorganisms and obtain different levels of inactivation. So HPP is highly effective in inactivating different pathogens such as Salmonella, Listeria, E. coli, by using it at high pressure levels. I mean, reaching the 87,000 psi or 6,000 bars. By reducing that pressure level more, by applying 3,000 bar to 2,000 bar, we'll be inactivating yeasts, molds, parasites. Also, Vibrio norovirus can be inactivated at these pressure levels. Usually for raw seafood products, we are applying that amount of pressure. And for ready-to-eat food products, which are already cooked, we'll be applying pressures that are higher, up to 87,000 psi or 6,000 bars. Also, I want to mention that we cannot inactivate spore-forming bacteria or spores. That is why we need to apply additional controls to control this risk. And the reason why HPP will help inactivate all these microorganisms is because HPP will help promote protein denaturation. And what this means is that the protein will have a specific conformation, so HPP will, when applying that pressure levels, would change this protein conformation and denature it, causing inactivation levels and inactivation types in microorganisms by mainly affecting their membrane or metabolic system inside of it. So the seafood sector applied with HPP will be mainly divided in two. The first one will be to apply it in the shocking and meat extraction application to help automate those shocking processes for shellfish, crustaceans, bivalves, while preserving their sensory attributes and also high quality, because these products are highly sensitive and delicate. That is why we'll be using low pressure levels, running from 29,000 to the 50,000 psi, and the holding times will also be short, from 1 to 3 minutes. At this combination of parameters, we'll be able to shock the bivalves and also automate the extraction of the meat from the crustaceans. And also we will be able to control Vibrio norovirus and at the same time help inactivate spoilage microorganisms. So we'll be able to extend the shelf life for some days as well. On the other side, we have the application for the shelf life extension and assurance of food safety for either cooked seafood products meant to be ready to eat, and also for raw seafood products. For raw seafood products, we'll be able to inactivate spoilage microorganisms. We'll be using low pressures, and we will help extend the shelf life. For the cooked seafood products for the ready-to-eat sector, we'll be using high pressure levels. So HPP can be used here as a post-lethality treatment, post-lethality intervention to inactivate pertinent pathogens such as Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli in a range of 2 to 3 log reduction in this. For the cooked seafood, we'll be using high pressures up to 87,000 psi and holding times between 3 and 6 minutes, depending on their water activity value. For these products, water activity will be highly important in order to inactivate the pathogens of concern. So this is just to mention all the products that can be processed with HPP. For sure, there are a lot of other products that can be used with HPP. So first, you can see the lobster extraction, crab extraction, and bivalve shocking, where HPP is used at low pressures to enable this. Then we have the raw fish, where again, HPP is used in low pressures to help preserve all the quality, all the sensory of this to help extend the shelf life. Then the ready-to-eat products, the cooked octopus, also the cod, the desalted cod is another application. Also different algae products, I'm going to explain this further, as well as fish salads, dips, other ready-to-eat meals where they place a bed of grains on top of protein, which is already cooked, skin packaged. And finally, the cooked wrapped meat products, where they use HPP as a post-lethality treatment against mainly Listeria. So now I'll jump into the ready-to-eat seafood and meals sector. So you may be thinking, why will I need to use HPP instead of a conventional thermal treatment? Well, HPP can provide a lot of different benefits by implementing it in your processes. First, it won't be using heat, so you won't be overcooking your product, as well as you'll help increase that nutrient retention compared to a conventional thermal treatment. You also preserve all those sensory attributes, the quality of these delicate products you're processing. And again, you'll be increasing the shelf life and ensuring food safety by protecting it from pertinent pathogens and also to help avoid any recontamination. Since remember, we will be processing these products in their final packaging, so it will really help protect them. This is to show you different ready-to-eat seafood examples, which are currently processed with HPP. So HPP can help extend the shelf life for over 45 days for this type of products. You can see how they combine it with different vegetables, different carbohydrates, on top some cooked seafood on it, which has been marinated. Also the cooked lumps of crab can also be processed with HPP. And finally, this whitefish salad. We have one here in demonstration if anyone wants to see it by Acme that also uses HPP. And these are some of our clients, as well as EXPO Seafood Company, which Christina will explain furtherly how they're using the technology for this type of products. I mentioned previously that depending on the pressure level and the water activity value that we are applying, we'll be obtaining different inactivation types and levels. So I know that Listeria will be a microorganism of interest, but for different products. Here is an example of how HPP can be used as a lethal step in order to reach a 5-log reduction in Listeria for fresh catfish fillets. You can see how here, by processing it at 600 megapascals for 5 minutes, you can obtain a 5-log reduction for Listeria. And now on the left side of the screen, you can see a mild smoked trout where HPP is used as a post-lethal treatment. So for here, we'll be looking for a lower inactivation for Listeria because it has been previously cooked. So for this, the paper tried to reach a 3-log reduction used as a post-lethal. So that is why you can see at 400 megapascals for 5 minutes, or by increasing the pressure level more and reducing the holding time, by processing at 600 megapascals for 1 minute or 5 minutes, you can not only reach that inactivation level, but also surpass it. And not only for Listeria, but also for E. coli as well. I showed you previously the example for cooked crab meat. For this type of product, HPP can help leverage a 30-day shelf life extension by preserving a clean label. So you're not adding any preservatives, it's just the crab meat already cooked inside a cup. Also, HPP can help not only inactivate Listeria, but also Salmonella E. coli, which will be pertinent pathogens of concern in this ready-to-eats, but mostly Listeria. So here I'm sharing with you a research paper, which was done by processing a cooked crab meat in a cup with a 10K OTR film. They process it at 600 megapascals, which is equivalent to 87,000 PSI or 6,000 bars. And they process it at 3 minutes. This is usually what the industry is using as processing parameters. They also store it under refrigerated conditions and monitor their shelf life. For this product, they were able to increase the shelf life for 18 days because that was the time in which the study was done. And they were able to preserve a clean label. Also, they analyzed all the sensory characteristics of the food product, and they were able to observe that there were no significant changes in it. It was pretty fresh. Also, for wet salads, I know this is something that is very trendy right now, and people are looking forward in creating all these dips that are very creamy, that are clean label. Well, HPP can help reach a shelf life extension of over 40 days, while also protecting against Listeria, which has been involved in recent recalls for this type of ready-to-eat products. Algae are also another application, which is highly compatible because we won't be affecting their nutritional value, and also will be preserving all its freshness, all its sensory attributes, and it has reached, and also it has a really high water activity. So inactivation levels that are pretty significant can be obtained. This is a seaweed salad from a South Korean customer who used to export his product to Costco here in the US. And also, this is a guacamole where they add fresh spirulina, which is a highly functional food, which was added. And because HPP won't affect the nutritional compounds, it won't also interact with what we call covalent bonds. That is why nutritional compounds will be pretty highly preserved. So again, the color will be pretty much preserved. That is pretty characteristic of these product types. This is a study where different seaweeds and also algae were analyzed after processing them with HPP. HPP was used at 600 megapascals for 5 minutes. And you can see how they analyzed total aerobes and how unprocessed is the gray bar and processed with HPP is the blue one, how HPP can help obtain different reduction levels of these microorganisms. And again, I mentioned before that the nutritional value is highly preserved. So phenolic compounds were analyzed. Phenolic compounds are of interest because they are pretty high in its antioxidant capacity, which is pretty important for our health. So you can see how with HPP, the total phenols not only increased, but also its antioxidant activity was pretty well preserved. So they weren't unaffected with HPP. And now I want to jump into the shellfish and also the bivalves extraction and shocking with HPP, which can help automate this process. So for this type of application, we won't be packaging the live lobsters or claws or tails or already banded oysters. We will only be introducing this into a blue basket that you can see on the screen. And also we have one here. So these products will be introduced into the basket and will be passed into the HPP machine where they will be shocked at low pressures and also reduced holding times. And then the already processed product, which has been already shocked, will come out of the machine, already processed. So we can help automate the shocking, but also we can help increase that meat recovery from this type of products and even achieve an 100% of meat extraction from the shells. So lobster is highly compatible. Furtherly, I'm going to show you some videos on how this is seen, but it's something that is very easy to just shock. Not only for the tails, but also for knuckle and claws. Also crab meat, crabs can also be processed with HPP For this, it's important to optimize the HPP parameters in order to increase that extraction yield. Also, oysters, I'm gonna show it furtherly how this is applied. But again, HPP can help automate that shocking and also that opening of the oysters by reducing that labor that is involved in those processes. So now talking about oyster processing, this is oyster, Kumamoto oyster, which I process with HPP. You can see how easy I just open the band, take it off, and it is open. It is already shocked. And I'm not an expert shocking oysters. For this effortless shocking, pressure levels from 2,500 bar to 3,750 bar will be applied, will help detach the abductor muscle from the shell, and that is why they'll come out pretty easily. Also, we'll be inactivating Vibrio and norovirus, even inactivating Vibrio in a pretty notable reduction and many times surpassing their inactivation over a 3.52 log reduction to help comply with what the ISSC regulations will be asking for. So this is a bunch of studies which we recover where HPP was applied to different oysters. And you can see this is the ISSC bar, how HPP not only helped reach that inactivation level of 3.52, but also surpass it by applying different parameters. Also with norovirus, which has been involved in recent recalls from this year and last year, HPP can help achieve a complete inactivation in this virus type, which is highly sensitive to technology. I was sharing previously that lobster is highly compatible and can help perform an effortless shocking. For this application, we'll be again using pressure levels from 2,000 to 4,000 bars and also reduce holding times. Again, we'll be able to control Vibrio and norovirus when processing these raw lobsters. This is a video of a shocked lobster that I processed from EXPO Seafood. And you can see how easy it is to just take out the meat completely. It was processed raw. So you can see how clean it looks for culinary markets that are looking for this type of premium products. And finally, just to share with you some market ideas in which you can sell this type of already shocked shellfish and bivalves. Here for the crustaceans, some of our customers are adding this already shocked and extracted meat of the raw or cooked knuckle and claw meat into the 10K OTR bags. Also raw or cooked lobster tails. Some customers are selling it already shocked, but it's still inside the shell. And some just with the meat out and in a skin packaging format. Also the raw or cooked crab meat, that's something that is pretty seen, so you can see on tops with a 10K OTR film. Also, the ready-to-eat cooked lobster meat is something that is also marketized. For bivalves, for oysters, customers are selling this already banded. So it is already shocked, it is already open, but they process it with the rubber band on. So after HPP, the customer who buys it, the only thing they'll need to do is take off that rubber band off and consume it, but it's only to keep it closed. Also, another format is the half shell oysters, where you place the oysters already open with the top shell off, placed on trays and vacuum sealed. And finally, some customers, what they do is they recover that extracted meat, place it into bags, vacuum sealed, and that is how they marketize it. This is just to show you some companies that currently are leveraging HPP for shellfish products. And now concluding with the HPP equipment that Hyperbaric offers, all of our equipments work the same. The only thing is they vary by different size depending on your productivity. We have installed over 400 HPP systems in more than 50 countries all around the world. And just as closing remarks, so today we saw how we covered how to automate those shocking processes by ensuring and increasing that food safety by reducing to safe levels pertinent pathogens, as well as extending shelf life pretty significantly in the seafood industry to create premium products of high quality, added value, while also matching with the current trends by creating clean label products with no preservatives or additives that scare customers. So thank you. That was from my side, the HPP introduction. We are in the booth number 2074, And now I'm gonna open the floor to Christina Ferranti, who is the marketing guru from EXPO Seafood Company, and she will share with us their current developments. The floor is yours.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Hyperbaric. Daniela, it's amazing information. We've been working with Hyperbaric for about 6 months now. Every time I hear Daniela speak, it's like you hear something new. It's a lot to take in, but it's amazing information, amazing technology. Always exciting to talk about seafood innovation, especially when you're talking about less waste, better products, and greater value for the whole seafood industry. So whether you're a harvester in aquaculture or wild-caught seafood, whether you're a seafood processor, a retailer, or consumer, adding so much value. So at East Coast Seafood, we're always looking for cutting-edge solutions. We want to increase seafood quality, enhance food safety, and extend shelf life. I'll tell you, we're so proud to say that in a few short weeks, our facility in New Bedford will have an HPP machine. We're so excited. This is our facility in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, an interesting fact, New Bedford has always been, or for a very long time, the highest value seafood landed port in the United States. So what a perfect storm. We are right on the harbor. That's where all of the scallops come in and a lot of great seafood. What a great location. So HPP is a process, obviously, that naturally preserves seafood. You're talking without the use of heat, without the use of additives, without the use of chemicals. It's a game changer. So we're reducing waste and ensuring high quality product for partners. The world wastes a lot of food. So this is a study. We throw away 40% of the world's food supply. It's a lot of food, 2.5 billion tons. Can HPP help? Absolutely. Welcome to rainy Boston, right? Monday morning, we're here in Boston, and we just definitely, you know what, I'm missing a slide, I'm sorry, but we throw away more food than any other country in the United States. How is this happening? Let's dig in a little bit in the US. So it's from home consumers, it's from retailers, and it's from supermarkets. Now they say that a lot of it, or the bulk of it, is coming from produce, right? Produce that's not eaten in time. But a lot is coming from fresh seafood. That's a lot of seafood that's going in the landfills. So how is HPP transforming our product lines at East Coast Seafood? Well, of course, just like Daniela showed us, we're going to use the technology for our lobster and scallops. But let's be clear, we're not just using it for the lobster and scallops, we are using it to bring exciting and innovative HPP products to market. So this is one of our products that's coming to BJ's Wholesale Club in April. So we're proud to say it's hitting the market. Never smoked, needs a way to be refrigerated to keep it fresh. We have a 30-day shelf life. These are salmon bites that are fully cooked. You can use them on a salad, on a pasta, take them out of the refrigerator. You don't have to cook them because they're fully cooked. So they just last in your refrigerator. Just so convenient, really proud of this. This is my favorite. This is the sushi snacker. We are using these in small flexible cups. As Daniela had mentioned, it has to go through the HPP process. It's it can be sold fresh or frozen, and it's a deconstructed poke bowl style snack. With the cooked seafood, we offer a shrimp, a salmon, and a snow crab. That gives us a 21-day shelf life. We're hoping for more. We're concluding the shelf life studies. But this is really a game changer. Why is it a big deal? Because this is one of the fastest growing retail trends, right? At the supermarkets. Consumers want to be able to take sushi snacks or snacks in general and seafood on the go. You can throw this in your lunchbox when you're going to work. if you're at your child's soccer game, if you're on your couch, in the cooler going to the beach, it's an on-the-go sushi snack. And again, most sushi that we eat, most poke, you buy it, you consume it that day. So this is, again, really innovative product. I know we have some little sushi containers that we can look at later. So if I was to eat lunch today, this would be my favorite, but it would be a toss-up between the snow crab and the shrimp. We're also using HPP to revolutionize meals. We've been selling a lot of seafood meals for about 5 years in steam bags. So we decided we were going to put them in a skin pack tray to get extended shelf life. So let's talk about shrimp. Shrimp is the #1 consumed seafood, right? So if seafood with the shrimp, when it's raw, does not see any detectable changes through the HPP, no changes in texture. It's perfect. The pasta and the vegetables remain crisp and fresh looking. It tastes that way too. It's amazing. 21-day shelf life. This is a great example of how it looks when it comes out of HPP. Look at those vegetables. Looks like you just made it. So it's providing an ultimate flexibility for the consumer and the retailer. This is our shrimp and rice noodles, by the way. Now, I hope you all at breakfast, right? This is our tequila fettuccine, so I hope you're getting hungry. The heart of this investment that we're making in HPP, industry, it's a game changer. The industry cannot afford to keep throwing away so much quality seafood at such high percentages. You have spoilage, you have short shelf lives, fluctuating demand. So much seafood is wasted before it even reaches the consumer. So with this, you're allowing consumers and retailers to buy with more confidence, reducing waste, and enhancing profitability, right? That's what we all want. So we're not just keeping up, we're helping to lead the way. The industry, we're in this together. And so we're giving consumers better seafood, longer lasting freshness, and again, more reasons to buy with confidence. We're also giving every pound of seafood that's harvested, and again, either wild caught or aquaculture, a better chance to reach consumers' plates and go into our bellies instead of the landfill. So important. Let's change this game together. Great technology. Let's deliver seafood the way it was meant to be. And let's have it last, right? Stay that way. So thank you, Hyperbaric. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hope you have a great show. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so now if anyone has any questions, we have time to answer them. Yeah.
For the log reduction claims, is that minimum or average?
Sorry, can you repeat the
For
question?
the log reduction, like the 3 to 5 log reduction, is that minimum or average?
So that's usually what is achieved depending on the product you are processing. So for example, a 3 log reduction, if the water activity isn't that high, for example, it is an already cooked product, we are looking for that type of reduction by applying 6,000 bars. It is what usually is achieved. Even if like your cooked product has a water activity of 0.97, 0.96, if it is used as a lethality treatment, HPP can achieve a 5 log reduction in most of the cases by using the high pressures and in high water activity products. So I mean juices and beverages, for example, raw seafood that is used and haven't had any lethality treatment before.
So just to clarify, so when you do your study, you take multiple samples, is every single sample above, say, 3 log, or is it the average of those samples is 3 log?
Yeah, so it depends on the product type. It depends on the product you are processing. So it is a very case-by-case basis. Quite of answer, yeah.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any other questions?
Besides the temperature, can you compare and contrast Seaweed versus HPP for us?
Yeah, the thing is that HPP will help not only inactivate pathogens and act as a post-lethal, but also will achieve a really instant inactivation, and it will help preserve all the attributes, sensory and quality attributes, but it is pretty different. technology. Yeah.
Hello. For an imitation crab meat product or the Seaweed product, which is vacuum skin packed, what is the maximum shelf life that could be achieved using the HPP technology?
Is the product like vacuum already cooked? Yeah,
Already
we'll
cooked and vacuum skin packed.
Yeah, we'll be increasing the shelf life from 60 days to 90 days, depending on the water activity value. We'll be in that range.
And then the storage temperature has to be chilled conditions, like
Yeah, you'll need,
3 degrees Celsius.
exactly. You'll need to be refrigerated in order to preserve the quality of the product. And also, since we don't inactivate spores, it will help delay their growth or any other resistant microorganism that will be there. Thank you.
Any other questions?
For this particular packaging, once you remove it from this package, does that then start decreasing the shelf life immediately?
Yeah, it's the same as if you, let's say, pasteurize a food product. Once you open it, you'll need to validate that shelf life that still has, because you're like rupturing. It's not an sterilization technology. You'll be rupturing what HPP has done.
Okay, and then this process also, I noticed that you mentioned that some products were still packaged with 10K OTR. So if it's frozen and thaws in transit, it would still need to be packed in 10K OTR, correct?
Yeah, usually in the US, the recommendation are to package fresh seafood product in 10K OTR, which is compatible with the technology. So yeah, that's an option.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
So most of the examples reference HPP and refrigerated, but in HPP plus frozen, do you see any texture or quality differences?
So it will need to be checked in a case by case, because it will need to be frozen properly and also thawed properly.